Time passed by. In a blink of an eye, half a year had gone. During this period, Lin Yuan's feat of subduing the imperial palace with a single roar spread like a hurricane throughout the world. Although the commotion within the palace was kept hushed by the palace guards and maids, the martial experts outside the palace couldn't turn a blind eye or a deaf ear to it. Even the middle-aged monk could sense the changes in the palace's aura. Naturally, other martial experts could as well. Moreover, with the Emperor of Great Dali voluntarily stepping out of the palace, bowing to Lin Yuan, many witnessed the scene. Connecting the dots, it was easy for people to speculate on the general truth. The imperial palace of the Great Dali dynasty had been penetrated by a mysterious monk. Even the reigning emperor had to bow down and admit his mistake. Although the Great Dali dynasty wanted to downplay the incident, it was impossible. The news had already spread, and the people were eager to discuss it. For nearly 2 centuries, the Great Dali dynasty had ruled the world, suppressing all martial experts due to their founding ancestors' overwhelming strength. Now, witnessing the dynasty's setback and even the current emperor bowing his head in apology, everyone was delighted. After discussing the fate of the Great Dali dynasty, the attention of the people immediately shifted to the mysterious monk from the Buddhist sect. Was the Great Dali dynasty weak? Certainly not. In fact, it was terrifyingly strong. Even with the passing of the great Grandmaster founder over 100 years ago, the dynasty's power still dominated the world. However, the fact that the palace was penetrated by a mysterious monk meant something ominous. Upon careful consideration, people felt a chill down their spines. Undoubtedly, the strength that mysterious monk had reached the level of a Grandmaster. Inside the martial hall of the Great Dali Imperial Palace, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged with a calm expression. Since entering half a year ago, he had not left the premises. The Emperor of Great Dali had the insight to declare the martial hall a restricted area, forbidding anyone from disturbing Lin Yuan. The daily meals were meticulously prepared by the royal chefs, not only replenishing his energy but also crafted with exquisite taste. However, Lin Yuan sighed lightly in his heart. Not enough, these martial arts are still far from enough. In just half a year, Lin Yuan had comprehended and understood numerous martial arts within the martial hall of the Great Dali Imperial Palace. It wasn't that the martial arts within the hall were inferior to those in the Buddhist temple scriptures. In fact, the collection of martial arts in the palace surpassed that of the temple, but the circumstances had changed. Now, Lin Yuan was at an unprecedented mythical realm. In this superior state, the efficiency of his enlightenment naturally far surpassed the Grandmaster realm. However, despite grasping all the martial arts within the hall, combined with his transcendent enlightenment and elevated understanding, Lin Yuan had yet to break through the mythical realm. All martial arts in the world, those that are recorded and passed down, are only a few. More martial arts are dispersed among every martial practitioner in the world, Lin Yuan thought silently in his heart. These martial arts might not reach the level of superior martial arts, but they excel in their unique perspectives. They are even fundamentally different from the current martial arts training system. If Lin Yuan can comprehend martial arts from different angles, it should be helpful for him to break through the mythical realm. "Come in," Lin Yuan said as he looked towards the entrance of the martial hall. Yes, the slender old man immediately walked over respectfully. As the highest-ranking and strongest ancestor of the Great Dali royal family, the slender old man shouldn't have been stationed outside the martial hall personally, waiting for Lin Yuan's orders. However, ever since Lin Yuan casually gave him guidance shortly after entering the hall, the slender old man had stayed put. That casual guidance made the slender old man realize that even if he cultivated diligently for 10, 20, or 50 years, it wouldn't compare to a single sentence from Lin Yuan. "I plan to host a martial arts convention for the whole world right here in the capital. Any postnatal or prenatal martial artist can participate. The top 10 participants can choose any 3 superior martial arts," Lin Yuan announced. With his extraordinary comprehension ability, Lin Yuan didn't need to learn martial arts conventionally. He could simply watch others demonstrate their techniques and gain insights. Over a decade ago, watching the monks of the great Zen temple practicing the Arhat fist allowed him to comprehend the superior martial art, Arhat Buddha fist. Having martial artists reveal their unique skills wasn't realistic. Many wandering martial artists, without any sect affiliation, could easily retreat into the deep mountains and forests beyond Lin Yuan's reach. However, by organizing a martial arts convention, Lin Yuan could attract them. With his extraordinary comprehension, he could silently grasp their martial skills. Whether or not those wandering martial artists would come, people generally pursued one of two things: fame or fortune. For martial artists, there was an additional factor: personal martial arts proficiency. With superior martial arts as bait, Lin Yuan wasn't worried that those wandering martial artists wouldn't take the bait. Superior martial arts weren't just common, and each one could serve as the foundation of a legacy. Even the Great Zen Temple, a sacred place of Buddhism, only had 72 superior martial arts. Moreover, with the martial arts convention led by the Great Dali dynasty, gaining a bit of recognition could propel a martial artist to fame. Also, for the masters, Lin Yuan rugged his chin. If masters come, they can challenge me. Regardless of the outcome, they will receive a mental martial art. In essence, masters who attended the martial art convention could obtain a mental martial art. Although masters couldn't cultivate mental martial arts, continuous contemplation would greatly assist in stepping into the Grandmaster realm. Yes, the slender old man swallowed nervously. Although the Great Zen Temple's founder had left behind some mental martial arts years ago, who would reject the opportunity to have more? Different mental martial arts, contemplated simultaneously, could be used to validate the Grandmaster realm from various perspectives, making it easier to reach that step. As news of the martial arts convention spread, the entire world erupted in excitement. Just by achieving a top 10 position in the martial arts convention, one could choose any 3 superior martial arts. If it weren't for the personal promise of the great Dali Emperor, nobody would have believed it. These were superior martial arts. Just obtaining one would be incredible, but the top 10 martial artists could choose 3, and freely at that. Initially, some martial artists doubted, but after the first martial arts convention, where the top 10 participants indeed obtained their desired 3 superior martial artists worldwide went crazy. They rushed to the capital of Great Dali, eagerly awaiting the start of the next martial arts convention. While postnatal and prenatal martial artists were excited, the masters scattered throughout the land gradually changed their perspectives. They saw the announcement about the martial arts convention from the Great Dali Emperor. Masters could participate and challenge the mysterious monk who had single-handedly pierced through the imperial palace. Regardless of the outcome, they would receive a mental martial art. Soon, numerous masters couldn't resist and started heading towards the capital of Great Dali. 6 months later, Imperial Palace of Dali. Outside the martial hall, a sturdy man carrying a heavy sword appeared silently. By his side was a young boy of only 15 or 16. "Southern Sea Sword Saint, I didn't expect you to come too," said the slender old man guarding the martial hall, his expression serious. Before encountering Lin Yuan, the slender old man considered himself invincible under the Grandmaster realm. Few masters could make him wary. The Southern Sea Sword Saint was one of them in terms of strength. The Southern Sea Sword Saint was one of them. In terms of strength, the Southern Sea Sword Saint was one of them. In terms of strength, the Southern Sea Sword Saint wasn't superior to the slender old man. However, the Southern Sea Sword Saint didn't come from a martial arts sect. He had reached his current height step by step, relying solely on his own efforts. The slender old man, on the other hand, came from the Great Dali royal family and received guidance from various masters since childhood. He often contemplated the insights left by the founding emperor. Now the Southern Sea Sword Saint stood side by side with the slender old man, proving his extraordinary comprehension. Have you already started cultivating mental power?" The slender old man carefully examined the Southern Sea Sword Saint and was surprised. He could sense a faint mental pressure emanating from the Southern Sea Sword Saint, a sign of cultivating mental power. Once successful, it could break into the Grandmaster realm. The Southern Sea Sword Saint remained silent, his gaze fixed on the interior of the martial hall. Grandmaster, the Southern Sea Sword Saint smiled. He came for a different purpose than the other masters who came here for the promise of mental martial arts. Although mental martial arts could assist in cultivating mental power, the Southern Sea Sword Saint no longer needed them. His true goal was to challenge the mysterious monk who had single-handedly pierced through the Great Dali Imperial Palace. He wanted to use a Grandmaster as a stepping stone to forge his path to becoming a Grandmaster himself. "Master, do you really want to go in?" The young boy, around 15 or 16 years old, was somewhat nervous. After all, that mysterious monk was recognized by many martial artists as a true Grandmaster, Besides a grandmaster, who else could single-handedly pierce through the great Dali imperial palace? Don't worry, my disciple, the Southern Sea Sword Saint reassured him. With my current strength, just facing the mental pressure of a grandmaster, I might break through to the grandmaster realm at any time. The Southern Sea Sword Saint wasn't too concerned. With half of his foot already stepping into the grandmaster realm, it wouldn't take much to make the final leap once stimulated by a true grandmaster realm. In that case, facing another grandmaster, even if he couldn't defeat the mysterious monk, he believed he could retreat unscathed. I'm going in, my obedient disciple. Wait outside for a while, the Southern Sea Sword Saint said with eagerness, entering the martial hall. Only a short time, equivalent to the burning of a stick of incense, had passed when the martial hall's door opened again. The sturdy man carrying the heavy sword walked out with an expressionless face. Master! Master! Is it over so soon? The young boy hurried over, concerned. Let's go. The Southern Sea Sword Saint shook his head slightly, leaving the imperial palace with the young boy. Only when they reached the outskirts of the capital did the Southern Sea Sword Saint stop. Turning to face the direction of the imperial palace, he sat on a stone, muttering phrases like, "How can he be so strong? And how is such a person possible?" The young boy, at the age of 15 or 16, immediately realized that his master had likely lost. And not just lost, but lost quite thoroughly. Otherwise, he wouldn't be acting like this. Master, I didn't think he was that strong. When you become a grandmaster in the future, you can challenge him again and win, the young boy said, trying to console his master. That's strong. The Southern Sea Sword Saint fell silent for a while, unsure of what to say. After a long time, he regained his composure and said slowly, Now, as a post-natal martial artist, your perspective is still narrow. You see him like a frog in a well looking up at the moon. When the day comes that you miraculously step into the Grandmaster realm or become a semi-grandmaster like me, the Southern Sea Sword Saint continued, speaking with an extremely complex emotion, you will see him as if you are a tiny insect looking up at the vast sky. Outside the martial hall, the slender old man, Yuan Pan, watched as the figure of the Southern Sea Sword Saint disappeared. To consider Master Hui Zhen as a stepping stone to break through the Grandmaster realm. This is really. Yuan Pan, the slender old man, was at a loss for words. A touch of sympathy appeared on his face. Actually, using the pressure of life and death to break through bottlenecks was not uncommon. With the Southern Sea Sword Saint's talent and comprehension, it was quite possible for him to break through under the pressure of a Grandmaster. Compared to Yuan Pan, the Southern Sea Sword Saint had reached his current state entirely through his own efforts. His potential was beyond doubt. However, the Southern Sea Sword Saint's greatest mistake was setting his goal on Master Hui Zhen. In Yuan Pan's eyes, Lin Yuan's strength undoubtedly surpassed that of an ordinary Grandmaster, perhaps even the strongest among all Grandmasters throughout history. This belief had become nearly certain through almost a year of interaction. Moreover, Yuan Pan had a more terrifying speculation. Has the master's strength really broken to that level? Yuan Pan felt his whole body trembling at the thought. Throughout history for thousands of years, Grandmasters had been unquestionably recognized as the strongest. It was the ultimate realm pursued by all martial artists. As for realms beyond Grandmaster, surpassing the Grandmaster realm, Yuan Pan dared not think about it and wouldn't think about it and wouldn't think about it and wouldn't think about it. It was as meaningless as pondering why the sun hung in the sky. However, after experiencing the might displayed by Lin Yuan's roar, Yuan Pan finally began to doubt. Perhaps beyond the Grandmaster realm, there was a higher realm, something like what Lin Yuan possessed. It wasn't unreasonable for Yuan Pan to think so. Lin Yuan's demonstrated strength was simply too extraordinary. The Grandmaster from the Great Dali dynasty hadn't died many years ago, and Yuan Pan remembered the descriptions of Grandmasters vividly. Even the strongest Grandmaster wouldn't be this strong. In addition to this, Yuan Pan had felt the bottleneck of the Grandmaster realm under Lin Yuan's occasional guidance in the past year. If the guidance of a Grandmaster was so useful, there wouldn't be sayings like, a Grandmaster can't cultivate another Grandmaster. Inside the martial hall, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. Since the martial arts competition began half a year ago in the capital, Lin Yuan's insights had not ceased. Countless martial artists participated in the martial arts competition, and even though their strengths might not be high, They each displayed various martial arts. Lin Yuan, with his extraordinary comprehension, gained insights from countless perspectives, far more useful than just observing a few high-level martial arts. Your comprehension is extraordinary. You gain insights into the world of martial arts, improving your understanding of martial arts beyond the mythical realm. Ugh. Your comprehension is extraordinary. You gain insights into the world of martial arts, subtly grasping the essence of the natural world. Your comprehension is extraordinary. You gain insights into the world of martial arts, creating the cloud mist refining chi technique. Your comprehension is extraordinary. You gain insights into the world of martial arts, beginning to perceive the breakthrough direction of the subsequent realm. Lin Yuan was completely immersed in the world of enlightenment, only waking up if faced with a life-threatening situation. With Lin Yuan's current physical body and the self-protecting mythical realm, Yuan Li, he wouldn't be harmed even if a group of Grand Masters attacked him. After half a month, Lin Yuan opened his eyes, finally found it. Lin Yuan sighed softly. With the assistance of his extraordinary comprehension, he had finally identified the path beyond the mythical realm. It was only a lock-on, and the actual journey would still require a considerable amount of effort. However, as long as the direction was correct, the rest for Lin Yuan was just a matter of time. It's time to go back. Lin Yuan stood up and walked towards the exit of the martial hall. Although, with Lin Yuan's current strength, it didn't matter where he practiced. He still preferred the environment of Shaoxi Mountain, the serene atmosphere with the ancient Buddha, and the undisturbed surroundings. Crack. The door of the martial hall opened. Yuan Pan, who had been guarding outside, was suddenly startled. Master! Yuan Pan subconsciously looked into the martial hall, only to find that the young monk who should have been sitting there had disappeared. Master! Has he left? Yuan Pan was stunned for a moment, feeling a bit lost. Even though he had anticipated it, knowing that powerful figures like Lin Yuan wouldn't stay in the imperial palace for long, he felt as if he had lost something at this moment. Great Zen Monastery. Abbot Hao Yuan, the head of the martial monks' hall, Wei Wen, and several other hall leaders gathered at the gate of the monastery, looking worried. A year ago, the imperial palace of Great Dali was pierced through by a mysterious monk with the strength of a Grand Master. The Great Zen Monastery had naturally heard about this event. Unlike other martial artists and forces speculating about the identity of the mysterious monk, Abbot Hou Yuan and the hall leaders almost immediately recognized that the monk was their own disciple. There was no doubt when it came to a young monk's appearance combined with Grandmaster level strength. Who else could it be? At first, they marveled at Lin Yuan's strength. A little over 100 years ago, the Grandmaster of the Great Dali dynasty had attacked Shaoxi Mountain. Now, a monk from the Great Zen Monastery had single-handedly pierced through the imperial palace of Great Dali. It was a reciprocal courtesy. However, as time passed, the abbot and others began to sense that something was wrong. Did the monk intend to reside permanently in the imperial palace of Great Dali? At first, Abbot Hui Yuan and the others didn't think that Lin Yuan would abandon the Great Zen Monastery. Instead, they were worried about what other intentions the Great Dali dynasty might have. While a frontal assault was easy to deal with, hidden schemes were hard to guard against. Certainly, with Lin Yuan's strength, no one in the Great Dali dynasty could match him. But what if they employed some clandestine means? After all, the imperial palace was once the residence of the Grandmaster, the founder of the Great Dali dynasty, and there might be methods to deal with the Grandmaster. Abbot Hui Yuan also had deeper concerns. As the martial arts competition progressed and several masters went to the capital to spar with Lin Yuan, rumors about his strength spread even more. Grandmaster, Peak Grandmaster, Invincible Grandmaster, the first Grandmaster of all ages, and so on. These rumors came from other masters, and their authenticity was unquestionable. As a result, Lin Yuan's reputation grew larger and surpassed that of Patriarch Bodhidharma from 1,000 years ago, and the Grandmaster of Great Dali from over 100 years ago. This situation might not have much impact on other masters, as they had spent decades on their journey, and their mental state had been tempered by various experiences. However, Abbot Hui Yuan was well aware that Lin Yuan was only in his teens. At such a young age, could he withstand the worldly temptations and still return on the right path? Let's wait a bit longer. The disciple has only been down the mountain for a year. It's a short time. Even if influenced by the secular world, he can still turn back in time, said the head of the precept court in a solemn tone. Not to mention a grandmaster, even for ordinary martial artists, 1 year was not a long time. It was considered the early stages of entering the martial world. The disciple has a simple heart. The head of the martial monks' hall frowned, about to say something when, at that moment, on the narrow mountain path of Shaoxi Mountain, a young monk in monk's robes and cloth shoes walked up step by step. The disciple is back. Abbot Yuan was the first to notice Lin Yuan. A moment later, Lin Yuan arrived at the entrance of the great Zen monastery. Venerable. Several people nodded to Lin Yuan, wanting to say something but refraining from it. All matters have been resolved. Lin Yuan only said this and returned to the third floor of the scripture repository, sitting down again, away from the world, away from the hustle and bustle of the martial world. On this day, the young monk on Shaoxi Mountain, wearing cloth shoes and monk's robes, who had just entered the martial world a year ago, left the martial world. Lin Yuan returned to the great Zen temple without causing much commotion. Apart from the abbot and a few senior monks, no other monks were aware of his return. On the third floor of the scripture repository, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. 8 years left. Lin Yuan glanced at the illusory light screen below his line of sight, aware that his time in this realm was running out. Probably enough. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. The path to the realm above the mythical state had a specific direction and approach due to his extraordinary comprehension abilities. With 8 years of time and his unrivaled insight comprehension efficiency, it was more than sufficient. The path of martial arts. Lin Yuan's eyes were profound. In this world, the path of martial arts was based on the human body, combined with the spirit, undergoing constant transformation. Although progress was based on the human body, combined with the spirit undergoing constant transformation. Although progress was slow, at least it was much more promising than the evolutionary path of the gene warriors in the cosmic human civilization. The gene warriors relied solely on physical evolution, and once they encountered evolved beings like psionics or mind masters, they were usually swept aside without proper preparation. The evolutionary path of gene warriors was likely created by the higher-ups of human civilization specifically for their descendants. Depending entirely on gene potions, as long as one could purchase a sufficient level of gene potions, they could continue to improve indefinitely. I wonder how the path of martial arts is evaluated by the goddess of wisdom. Lin Yuan thought to himself. The Cosmic Human Alliance encouraged citizens to develop new evolutionary paths, and the Goddess of Wisdom even rewarded significant contributions to attract more people to engage in this field. The value of an evolutionary path depended on two aspects: its popularity and its potential. Popularity was easily understood. If only one person could practice a particular evolutionary path, it would have little value for the overall human civilization. As per potential, it referred to the theoretical upper limit of the evolutionary path. After spending more than 10 years in this world, Lin Yuan had consistently used his extraordinary comprehension to deduce martial arts, opening up the realm beyond Grandmaster, even surpassing the mythical level. He aimed to maximize the potential of the martial arts evolutionary path to receive higher praise and rewards from the Goddess of Wisdom. Lin Yuan was well aware of priorities. This realm was just a temporary stay. After 20 years, he would return to the Cosmic Human Alliance. Continue the enlightenment. After pondering for a moment, Lin Yuan closed his eyes and once again entered the state of enlightenment. The recent journey to the Great Dali country had been immensely helpful to Lin Yuan. The myriad martial arts recorded in the martial hall, the various miraculous techniques mastered by martial artists worldwide under the catalysis of his unrivaled insight comprehension. Countless flashes of enlightenment continued to burst forth in Lin Yuan's mind, steadily advancing towards the realm above the mythical state. Time passed. 8 years flew by in a blink of an eye. As time passed, the true identity of the mysterious monk who penetrated the Grand Deal Palace finally became clear to the world. It was Venerable Hui Zhen from the great Zen temple. When Lin Yuan uttered the words, "This poor monk, Hui Zhen," outside the palace, many people heard it. Combined with the fact that the great Zen temple had already distributed portraits of Venerable Hui Zhen to various temples, and Lin Yuan's appearance at several martial arts tournaments hosted by the Grand Dali country, the deduction was not difficult. The revelation of the mysterious monk's identity led to increased activity at the Great Zen Temple. Many martial artists flocked to the foot of Mount Shaoxi, hoping to catch a glimpse of Lin Yuan. After spending only a year in the Grand Ali country, the mysterious monk disappeared, leading many to speculate that he might have returned to the Great Zen Temple. Numerous martial artists came to the Great Zen Temple eager to see Lin Yuan. After all, he was widely recognized as a grandmaster, even referred to as the greatest grandmaster by some master. In the realms of literature and martial arts, he was considered unparalleled. Seeing that all the grandmasters acknowledged him without any doubt left only one possibility, that Venerable Hui Zhen was indeed unbelievably powerful. He had defeated all the masters, attracting a large number of martial artists to come and witness this unparalleled figure. Even if they couldn't see him, catching a distant glimpse was considered excellent. Who knows, if they were lucky, the anonymous monk might take an interest in them. This kind of opportunity was even greater than a carp leaping over the Dragon Gate. As for those who were valued by Venerable Hui Zhen and might have to shave their heads and become monks, many were willing to make that sacrifice, giving up worldly desires for the chance to advance. On the narrow mountain path of Mount Shaoxi, a burly man carrying a heavy sword moved forward slowly. Following closely behind him was a young man in his 20s. "Master! Master! Are you here to challenge that venerable again?" the young man asked curiously as they walked. The burly man carrying the heavy sword was none other than the Sword Saint of the South Sea. If there were masters nearby, they would notice that the Sword Saint of the South Sea exuded a profound aura, and looking into his eyes they could sense a spiritual power as sharp as a sword. A grandmaster. The Sword Saint of the South Sea had already taken that step and become a grandmaster. In the past, the birth of any grandmaster would be an extremely sensational event, with congratulations coming from all directions and countless people bowing down. However, the Sword Saint of the South Sea found it dull. Ever since he exchanged moves with Lin Yuan 8 years ago, he realized that there were always people beyond people and realms beyond realms. So what if he became a grandmaster? In the face of that venerable monk, even grandmasters had to die. I just came to take a look. The Sword Saint of the South Sea shook his head. Also, don't compare your master with that venerable. That venerable monk ceased to be a grandmaster 8 years ago. The Sword Saint of the South Sea took a deep breath and said in a low voice. Suddenly, the Sword Saint of the South Sea's expression changed dramatically. He raised his head abruptly, looking towards the summit of Mount Shaoxi, in the direction of the Great Zen Temple. Buzz! A terrifying aura began to ripple, instantly sweeping across the entire Mount Shaoxi. It spread in all directions at an extremely frightening speed. What is that? The Sword Saint of the South Sea's face turned pale. In his perception, a vast and ocean-like aura rose from deep within the Great Zen Temple, shining like the sun, illuminating the world. At last, it has finally happened. On the 3rd floor of the scripture repository, Lin Yuan slowly opened his eyes, stood up, and walked out of the repository. It took nearly a decade, but he had finally stepped into the realm above the mythical state. Outside the scripture repository, the long-eyebrow monk, the abbot, and other senior monks had been waiting for a long time. The commotion caused by Lin Yuan's breakthrough was too significant. Even the Sword Saint of the South Sea on the mountainside could sense it, not to mention the many monks within the Great Zen Temple. Venerable, greetings, Venerable. Seeing Lin Yuan walk out of the repository, Long Eyebrow Monk and the others immediately bowed. Thank you. Lin Yuan nodded, feeling good. Venerable, your strength should have surpassed that of a grandmaster by now, right? Abbot Hui Zhen hesitated for a moment, then inquired cautiously. He had long had this speculation, but had it been certain? After all, surpassing a grandmaster was considered reaching the ceiling for martial artists throughout history, and surpassing it was not an easy feat. However, just now, sensing the disturbance caused by Lin Yuan's breakthrough, Abbot Hui Zhen realized something. That majestic aura, even if there were 10 or 100 grandmasters, could not compare. As for how Abbot Hui Zhen knew this, it was because the Long Eyebrow Monk had also successfully advanced to the realm of a grandmaster a year ago. Close enough. Lin Yuan's eyes remained calm as he casually responded, truly surpassed the realm of a grandmaster. Even though they had anticipated it, Abbot Hui Zhen and the others were still stirred by overwhelming waves of shock. The thoughts of the holy monk, who was already a grandmaster, were even more complicated. He had witnessed Lin Yuan's step-by-step progress and even received guidance from him more than 10 years ago when he was still a disciple. What does it look like beyond the Grandmaster realm? Abbot Hui Zhen's voice trembled as he asked. Others immediately stared at Lin Yuan with intense curiosity. Although they couldn't reach the heights Lin Yuan had achieved, and even the aspiration of becoming a Grandmaster seemed remote, at least they could listen to his insights, which was better than many of the Grandmasters who had dominated their respective eras throughout history. Above the Grandmaster realm is called the mythical realm, where internal energy is sublimated into elemental power, Lin Yuan calmly explained. Lin Yuan patiently explained the many mysteries of the mythical realm. After finishing, he paused for a moment before continuing. I haven't thought of a name for the realm above the mythical realm yet, but the fusion of chi, blood, and spirit allows one to sense the aura of heaven and earth. Above the mythical realm, Abbot Huizhen and the others were profoundly shaken, taking quite some time to react. They had just been immersed in the incredible aspects of the mythical realm, envisioning various characteristics of that realm. But now Lin Yuan mentioned something beyond the mythical realm. Could it be that this young venerable before them was already beyond the mythical realm? How else would he know the mysteries above the mythical realm? Following this, Lin Yuan patiently explained a few more details before dismissing Abbot Huizhen and the others. It wasn't that Lin Yuan didn't want to say more. It was just that words would be useless without reaching that realm. On the contrary, it could affect his own cultivation. It should be close to the limit now. Lin Yuan pondered for a moment. At this point, he faintly felt a sense of pressure from between heaven and earth. The level he currently occupied had reached the utmost in the mortal realm. Advancing further was not impossible with his extraordinary comprehension, but the time he had left was far from sufficient. Almost there. Inside the scripture repository, Lin Yuan looked at the dozens of books stacked before him. They recorded the specific details of the process from the innate realm to the mythical realm and even beyond the mythical realm. Of course, as martial arts progressed to higher levels, ordinary people found it increasingly obscure and challenging to understand. That was also the reason why Lin Yuan was unwilling to explain in detail to Abbot Huizhen and the others. However, in case the great Zen temple produced a disciple with exceptional talent, comparable to 1 in a million and possessing a fraction of Lin Yuan's gifted insight, these books could serve as guidance. But thinking about that day, it would probably be centuries or even thousands of years into the future. After entering the realm above the mythical realm, Lin Yuan stopped practicing and began to enjoy the mountains and waters. Even so, he felt the pressure from heaven and earth becoming stronger and increasingly uncomfortable, like a stranded whale. Several months later, Lin Yuan suddenly opened his eyes, because the door to the Myriad Realms deep in his mind suddenly radiated a brilliant light. The first arc finished. How is it? D. Support me on Patreon and you can read additional chapters. D. Started the second arc. D. In a daze, Lin Yuan opened his eyes once again. Bed, bookshelf, photographs. Lin Yuan's gaze swept across them, and finally he let out a soft sigh of relief. Back already. Looking at the familiar surroundings, Lin Yuan felt like he had traveled to a different world. A moment ago, he was in the martial arts world for 20 long years. Now he was back in the interstellar human alliance that spanned the cosmos. Oh right, check how much time has passed the cosmos. Oh right, check how much time. After reflecting, Lin Yuan immediately checked the time. Although from the current environment, Lin Yuan judged that not much time had passed. Otherwise, considering his state of consciousness leaving the body and arriving in a different world, he would have been taken to the hospital by his parents long ago. But it was essential to note precisely how many minutes or hours had elapsed. Only 10 minutes have passed. After confirming the current time, Lin Yuan seemed a little absent-minded. 20 years of time spent in the martial arts world amounted to only 10 minutes in the main world. Is it because the flow of time differs between the two worlds? Before the journey, the door to the Myriad Realms had warned Lin Yuan. The time flow in the traversed world might differ from the current world. However, Lin Yuan hadn't expected the time difference to be this significant, 10 minutes compared to 20 years. Since ancient times, there had been sayings like, a day in the celestial realm, a year on earth. The time flow in higher worlds was far slower than in lower worlds. Compared to the main world, the martial arts world clearly belonged to a lower world. The distance in magnitude was even greater than the saying about the celestial and earthly realms. This could be seen from the comparison of time flow rates. After pondering for a moment, Lin Yuan's mind sank into contemplation. There, suspended in mid-air, was a towering and majestic gate. Upon careful observation, the current door to the Myriad Realms was noticeably dimmer. Its edges were gradually lighting up. When the entire door to the Myriad Realms lit up completely, Lin Yuan would be able to undergo a second traversal. As Lin Yuan focused his mind on staring at the door to the Myriad Realms, a series of messages were once again transmitted. Lin Yuan rubbed his forehead. After the first traversal, more features of the door to the Myriad Realms flooded into Lin Yuan's mind. First and foremost was the method of traversal. Apart from the consciousness descent method, the door to the Myriad Realms could also facilitate physical traversal. However, this form of traversal consumed more of the door to the Myriad Realms energy. It required at least several years to accumulate enough energy. Considering that Lin Yuan's normal method of conscious descent allowed for traversal every 8 months to a year, physical traversal, Lin Yuan shook his head slightly, not particularly optimistic about this method of traversal. Physical traversal had many conveniences, such as not needing to start training from scratch and more. But the disadvantages were also apparent once you died. You were truly dead. In the consciousness descent method, even if the body died, it was just the consciousness returning to the original body, offering a chance for a fresh start. Of course, Lin Yuan did not entirely dismiss physical traversal. It could be used as a life-saving measure. For instance, if Lin Yuan faced a life-threatening situation in the main world, he could use physical traversal to escape to a different world and return when the danger had passed. Or he could take advantage of the different time flows between the two worlds, break through in the alternate world, and then return to the main world for a comeback. In addition to adding physical traversal, the information transmitted by the door to the Myriad Realms also mentioned the ability to expend some cost to bring items from other worlds. This point did not surprise Lin Yuan. Since people could traverse, there was no reason why other things couldn't. Prenatal Qi. After absorbing the information from the door to the Myriad Realms, Lin Yuan's mind moved slightly, and a strand of prenatal true qi naturally gathered in his lower dantian. In the martial arts world, Lin Yuan had condensed true qi in his lower dantian as a child, having comprehended the superior martial art of Grand Buddha Fist. Moreover, he was now beyond the level of the mythical realm. Lin Yuan named this advanced state the free and unrestrained realm. Entering this realm, the heavens were vast and the earth was thick, allowing him to be carefree and at ease. This was the free and unrestrained realm. If it weren't for the fact that advancing to Master, Grandmaster, and even the mythical realm required immense external energy and couldn't be accomplished in one go, Lin Yuan might have reached this state with just a thought. Now, I should be considered an evolver. Controlling the prenatal true qi to circulate throughout his body, Lin Yuan silently pondered. The Interstellar Human Alliance had a clear definition of an evolver, someone who possessed powers beyond the reach of ordinary people. This definition encompassed various abilities, such as the psychic power of a psychic master or the telekinesis of a scion. Lin Yuan's condensed prenatal true qi might not be strong, but it was undoubtedly something an ordinary person couldn't achieve. Thud, thud, the room's door suddenly sounded. "Brother, brother, it's me." A tender voice came from outside. Lin Yuan looked up and recognized his 6-year-old sister. After the mandatory conscription notice came, his parents were properly arranged, and even his young sister was no exception. Not yet in elementary school, she already had a spot for advanced studies at a prestigious institution. Such unimaginable affluence made many people jealous. Standing up and opening the door, Lin Yuan saw his young sister. "Brother, eat the cake." His sister held a cake, looking aggrieved. It was evident that she didn't intend to give him the cake. The parents were subtly observing from the living room. The forced conscription was equivalent to sacrificing Lin Yuan to secure wealth and prosperity for the entire family, which made his parents uneasy. After all, Lin Yuan was their son, and they had deep feelings for him after so many years of being together. However, they couldn't change the fact that this was the decision of the Human Alliance government. Forced conscription was forced conscription. Why was the word forced added to the front? Lin Yuan's parents wanted to comfort him but were afraid of upsetting him. Therefore, they had his little sister bring him her beloved cake to cheer him up. Not bad. Lin Yuan took the small cake from his sister's hand and, under her expectant gaze, finished it in one bite. After condensing the prenatal true qi, Lin Yuan was quite hungry. Although the cake was just a drop in the bucket, it was especially delicious. "Is it tasty, brother?" His little sister looked at Lin Yuan with big eyes and tears began to well up. "Very tasty." Lin Yuan nodded, expressing his approval. "Why did you eat the entire delicious cake, brother?" His little sister burst into tears and ran towards the living room. Closing the door, Lin Yuan fell into contemplation. Now that he had become an evolver, he could be exempted from conscription. According to the regulations of the Interstellar Human Alliance, an evolver was someone who possessed powers beyond ordinary people. Lin Yuan's parents were undoubtedly upset about the forced conscription. Lin Yuan, as their son, was deeply cherished after many years together. However, now that he had become an evolver, he could exempt himself from conscription. In theory, he should tell his parents about it. Nevertheless, to ensure a smooth process, he needed to obtain the evolver certificate first. That way, he could present official proof when applying for an exemption from conscription. Otherwise, even if he told his parents, they might not believe him. After all, how could their good son suddenly become an evolver? He had almost half a month until the conscription date. According to the regulations of the Interstellar Human Alliance, as long as he hadn't entered a military district battleship, he could be exempted from conscription as an evolver. The immediate priority now is to restore my full strength as soon as possible, Lin Yuan thought to himself as he sat cross-legged on the bed. With Lin Yuan's level of cultivation, as long as he had sufficient external energy, he could quickly return to his peak in the shortest time possible. External energy, in this context, referred to various nutrients, supplements, and the like. However, the prerequisite was having enough money. As a student, Lin Yuan naturally didn't have much money. Although his parents had some savings, it was undoubtedly far from enough to purchase the quantity of nutritional supplements he needed. Evolutionary path of martial Tao. If Lin Yuan could upload this evolutionary path, given the support from the Interstellar Human Alliance for developing new evolutionary paths, he would undoubtedly receive substantial rewards. Not only rewards, but he would also gain a prestigious status. Lin Yuan had seen numerous stories on the internet about evolutionary scholars who opened up new evolutionary paths. However, before uploading the martial Tao evolutionary path, Lin Yuan needed to make subtle modifications. After all, the human anatomy in the martial Tao world was not necessarily identical to that of humans in the main world, leading to the possibility that martial arts from the martial Tao world would not be practicable for citizens of the main world. This difference undoubtedly greatly diminished the value of the evolutionary path. One of the criteria for determining the value of an evolutionary path was its popularity. Nevertheless, for Lin Yuan, this issue was simpler than it seemed. With a broadly similar framework, he could use his extraordinary insight to slightly modify the martial Tao evolutionary path to make it suitable for citizens of the main world. Your insight is unrivaled, and you've started to improve the evolutionary path of martial Tao with significant success. Your insight is unrivaled, and you've started to improve the evolutionary path of martial Tao with significant success. Your insight is unrivaled, and you've started to improve the evolutionary path of martial Tao with significant success. Compared to deducing the subsequent path of a newly created martial Tao evolutionary path, this process of modification was undoubtedly much easier. In just 2 hours, Lin Yuan completed the modifications for the prenatal and master chapters. At the same time, he integrated everything he had realized in the martial Tao world over the past 20 years, forming a complete cultivation system. War Scripture. Lin Yuan named it the War Scripture. After completing all this, Lin Yuan chose to connect to the Goddess of Wisdom. As one of the 3 ultimate intelligences of the Interstellar Human Alliance, the Goddess of Wisdom was absolutely impartial and free from any ulterior motives. Uploading the evolutionary path to the Goddess of Wisdom would not result in any unexpected interruption. The Goddess of Wisdom would fairly assess its value. After dozens of seconds, the familiar electronic synthesized voice echoed in Lin Yuan's ears. Universal level citizen Lin Yuan, please state your request. Remember, you've connected to the Goddess of Wisdom twice this month, and you have 8 chances left. Please use them wisely. I want to upload a completely new evolutionary path, Lin Yuan said directly. Uploading a completely new evolutionary path. The electronic synthesized voice showed no fluctuations. In fact, not to mention the entire Interstellar Human Alliance, even on the Kanglian star. Every moment, countless citizens would upload what they believed to be their evolutionary paths. What is an evolutionary path? It is a guide that allows the essence of life to make a leap. This kind of leap needs to be stable and positive. Most of the evolutionary paths uploaded by citizens are extremely one-sided and highly volatile. There might not even be specific cases. It's basically a waste of the goddess of wisdom's judgment time. However, a completely new evolutionary path is crucial for the interstellar human alliance, as it is related to the emergence of new powerhouses. Therefore, whether it's the human alliance or the three goddesses of wisdom, they spare no effort in encouraging citizens to explore and develop new evolutionary paths, even if it leads to some resource wastage. Just this much. Lin Yuan translated the war scripture's prenatal and master chapters into the language of human civilization, then began uploading. Evolutionary path reception in progress. Begin preliminary assessment. In almost an instant, the prenatal and master chapters of the war scripture were continuously simulated and deduced under the immense computing power. Preliminary judgment. This evolutionary path is genuine. Preliminary judgment. This evolutionary path appears for the first time. Preliminary judgment. This evolutionary path has extremely high popularity. After a few seconds, while Lin Yuan was considering the following grandmaster and mythical chapters, the voice of the goddess of wisdom once again entered his ears. However, compared to the electronic synthesized voice in front of him, this time's voice seemed solemn and cold, even with a hint of an emotion that shouldn't exist. Respected universal-level citizen Lin Yuan, the evolutionary path you uploaded is undergoing a deeper level of judgment. Please wait. Lin Yuan was slightly stunned. He naturally noticed the change in the goddess of wisdom's tone. Could it be that the one contacting me now is one of the main consciousnesses of the goddess of wisdom? Lin Yuan thought to himself. The interstellar human alliance governed vast star regions, making it difficult to estimate the number of citizens. Therefore, the goddess of wisdom allocated to each citizen, considered as a welfare, was just an insignificant subconsciousness of the true goddess of wisdom. It was similar to ordinary artificial intelligence. The only difference was that it could contact the true goddess of wisdom at any time. It was said that when encountering significant decision-making moments, the main consciousness of the goddess of wisdom would appear, but Lin Yuan had never experienced it. What Lin Yuan didn't know was that at this moment, in a mysterious space, many light years away from the Changlin star, a massive light screen was rapidly flickering, frantically evaluating the value of the war scripture. Deep judgment. This evolutionary path meets the standards in terms of completeness and stability. Deep judgment. This evolutionary path meets the standards in terms of completeness and stability. Deep judgment. There is no similar evolutionary path in the current database. Deep judgment. This item complies with Article 3 of the Alliance Constitution. Initiate the corresponding protocol and approval request will begin shortly. Querying the highest authority in the star region near Kanglin Star, which is Governor Song Wuyang. Initiating contact with Governor Song Wuyang. At the highest point of Kanglin Star, Song Wuyang stretched lazily, preparing to end his day's work. As the planetary governor of Kanglin Star, Song Wuyang had too many responsibilities. Changlin Star was a mid-tier life-bearing planet with a resident population of 5 billion. Moreover, there were citizens from other planets coming for tourism and business. All of this required Song Wuyang's oversight. Prepare to rest and shut down all communication devices. Song Wuyang instructed his intelligent assistant, stood up, and rubbed his forehead. This had been his habit for many years. Once he decided to rest, he wouldn't touch any work-related matters. Of course, Song Wuyang's rest time was short, only 2 hours a day. However, during these 2 hours, he absolutely avoided any contact with work-related affairs. Just as Song Wuyang was about to rest, an electronic synthesized sound suddenly echoed in his ears. "Governor, someone is requesting communication. Didn't I say to shut down all communication devices? When I'm resting, no one should contact me about work." Song Wuyang suddenly opened his eyes, furrowing his brows with clear displeasure. The requester has the highest authority level in the nearby star region. It cannot be refused. Highest authority level in the nearby star region. Song Wuyang raised an eyebrow, quickly calming down. Is it one of the Star Lords? No, it's the Goddess of Wisdom. wisdom goddess. Song Wuyong's expression became solemn. As one of the three ultimate intelligent goddesses, the wisdom goddess had the highest authority in the nearby star region, and even in the entire universe of human civilization. Why would the wisdom goddess contact me so late at night? Song Wuyong speculated in his mind. Any action taken by the wisdom goddess was the result of countless computations by the intelligence brain, and was absolutely not meaningless. Could it be that those extraterrestrial beings are attacking? Song Wuyong furrowed his brows. Several months ago, the Alliance detected traces of extraterrestrial beings in the nearby star region, prompting the conscription action to quickly resolve the extraterrestrial threat. Connect. Song Wuyong's thoughts fluctuated, and he chose to connect. In reality, with the authority possessed by the wisdom goddess, even if he refused to connect. In reality, with the authority possessed by the wisdom goddess, even if he refused to connect, it wouldn't have any effect. The wisdom goddess could force the connection. The so-called connection authority was proposed by a Star Lord hundreds of thousands of years ago during a constitutional assembly, claiming to protect citizens' privacy. It was granted to the three goddesses. Even though this authority was practically useless and refusing to connect didn't guarantee non-connection, it served as a fig leaf. This way, during moments of personal matters, he wouldn't suddenly hear the voices of the three goddesses. As Song Wuyong chose to connect, a ding sound followed. The wisdom goddess is now connected. Song Wuyong composed himself, assumed a respectful posture, and carefully asked, "It's quite late. I wonder what the goddess has to discuss with me." The three ultimate intelligent goddesses of human civilization were the freedom goddess, the justice goddess, and the wisdom goddess. The wisdom goddess, they each managed different aspects. The freedom goddess oversaw expansion and conquest, the justice goddess presided over legal decisions, and the wisdom goddess managed citizens' livelihoods and logistics. These three goddesses worked together to support the brilliant civilization of human society. According to Article 16 of the Constitution, when a newly discovered evolution path shows potential reaching or exceeding the third tier, it will be jointly discussed and decided upon by the wisdom goddess and the highest authority in the nearby region. The solemn and dignified voice of the wisdom goddess echoed. Song Wuyong's pupils contracted slightly, and he immediately asked, "Are you suggesting that a new evolution path has been discovered and its potential is expected to reach the third tier?" In his capacity as the planetary governor, he received numerous new evolution paths every day for approval. However, almost all of them had low potential, and most were ungraded. Occasionally, a stroke of luck might result in the discovery of a first-tier potential. No wonder the wisdom goddess was so cautious, contacting him outside working hours. If it were an ordinary evolution path, the wisdom goddess would have already determined it herself, waiting for Song Wuyong to authorize it during his work hours the next day. However, a potential reaching the third tier was a different matter. The term potential didn't refer to the current upper limit of the evolution path, but rather the wisdom goddess, using immense computing power to simulate the future upper limit of this evolution path. Any evolution path with potential reaching or exceeding the third tier represented the future and wealth of the entire human civilization. Through such an evolution path, the birth of a third-tier evolver was possible. That's correct. The planetary governor, Song Wuyong, please have a look, the wisdom goddess responded. Instantly, numerous layers of screens flashed before Song Wuyong's eyes, revealing the war scripture, prenatal, and master chapters submitted by Lin Yuan. "What is this?" Song Wuyong frowned. As a powerful evolver himself, he immediately realized the extraordinary nature of the war scripture, representing the terrifying potential of the martial path. It required minimal external resources and had little demand for aptitude. Even if one didn't ultimately become an evolver through this path, they could still use it to enhance their physique. With extremely high popularity and no restrictive conditions, as well as no weaknesses, it was a path unlike some extreme evolution paths, which were too specialized and vulnerable to specific countermeasures. The master realm of this evolution path should have reached the standard of entry-level evolvers, Song Wuyong judged. Evolvers from any path were divided into ungraded and entry-level evolvers. Although ungraded evolver possessed powers surpassing ordinary people, their strength was far inferior to entry-level evolvers. What's the rank of this evolutionary chart of our Changlan star? Song Wuyong inquired cautiously. The Changlin evolutionary chart recorded all the evolution paths born on Changlin star over the past 820,000 years since it became a suitable habitat for life. According to the highest intelligent brain calculations, the war scripture evolutionary path could rank 93rd on the Changlin evolutionary chart. The voice of the wisdom goddess echoed. Really, on the evolutionary chart, Song Wuyang's expression became slightly complex. The Changlin evolutionary chart recorded the 100 strongest evolution paths on Changlin star over its entire history. These 100 paths had undergone the test of time, with very few changes. At least, since Song Wuyang became the planetary governor, the Changlin evolutionary chart had remained unchanged. According to Article 86 of the Constitution, concerning the support policy for developing new evolution paths, this evolutionary path will reward the developer with 2,000 merit points. Does Governor Song Wuyang agree? The solemn and dignified voice of the wisdom goddess conveyed. 2,000 merit points of the wisdom goddess conveyed. 2,000 merit points. Song Wuyang fell into contemplation. Merit points were the most valuable currency in the universe-human alliance, directly distributed by the three goddesses. In human civilization, merit points could achieve almost anything, such as upgrading citizens' levels. With a sufficient number of merit points, one could even command the three goddesses. Of course, the distribution of merit points depended entirely on contributions to human civilization. The more merit points, the greater the contribution to human civilization. The more merit points, the greater the contribution to human civilization, and, naturally, the corresponding privileges. The wisdom goddess's decision to grant 2,000 merit points to the developer of the war scripture evolutionary path made Song Wuyang realize that he had underestimated the value of this path. To put things into perspective, a normal path with potential reaching the third tier would have merit points ranging from 800 to 1,000. Very rarely would there be paths with over 1,000 merit points, let alone directly granting 2,000 merit points, I agree, Song Wuyang nodded. The wisdom goddess wouldn't show favoritism, so if she believed the value was 2,000 merit points, then it must be so. In Lin Yuan's room, he continued to sit cross-legged on the bed. I'm still a bit hungry. After finishing some snacks in the room, Lin Yuan frowned slightly. Just then, a solemn and dignified voice echoed, "Respected citizen Lin Yuan, the martial path evolutionary route you uploaded." Hi. Oh! Lin Yuan immediately perked up. The martial path evolutionary route was the culmination of his 20 years of immersion and mastery in the martial world. It represented the ultimate Dao fruit of Lin Yuan in the world of martial arts. Lin Yuan was eager to know its value in the universe-human alliance. Citizen Lin Yuan, according to the assessment, the theoretical potential of the martial path evolutionary route is at the third tier, with widespread popularity. Its value is 2,000 merit points. Would you like to claim them now? 2,000 merit points? Lin Yuan's eyes lit up. He was well aware of the value of merit points. It was the highest honor bestowed by the three goddesses of human civilization, a symbol that could be used to upgrade citizens' levels. As for 2,000 merit points, it was a surprise even for Lin Yuan. Merit points could purchase almost all restricted resources. In the underground black market, a single merit point could fetch astronomical prices, often reaching tens of millions. Even if he sold 2,000 merit points at a low price on the black market, it would still amount to hundreds of billions. Merit points have been granted, the voice of the wisdom goddess resonated. Lin Yuan immediately noticed that on his account, in the merit points section, the previously unseen 2,000 had appeared, of great citizen level. Lin Yuan began the operation. Although merit points were valuable, their most crucial function was to upgrade citizen levels. As for using merit points as currency to buy goods or converting them into currency through the black market, it was a practice akin to draining a pond to catch fish. Once the citizen level was raised, who would worry about not having money? Lin Yuan knew that citizens of level 2 or above could easily obtain interest-free loans of tens of millions annually from the central bank. Many places only required high-level citizens to lend their names, bringing in millions or even billions of income each year. As Lin Yuan started to upgrade his citizen level, the voice of the wisdom goddess resonated once again. Universe-level citizen Lin Yuan, using 1,000 merit points, upgraded to level 2 citizen. Upon hearing this, a smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Upgrading from level 1 citizen to level 2 citizen required 1,000 merit points. Although he hadn't reached level 3 citizen, Lin Yuan was already content. Level 1 citizens accounted for over 99.9% of the population. Normally, one would find a level 2 citizen among tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of level 1 citizens, making it an elite and privileged class. As Lin Yuan's civic level changes, emails quickly flood into his inbox. Emails. Lin Yuan raises an eyebrow. With a slight thought, he connects to the network, and a virtual screen appears in front of him. The human civilization in the universe values technological development and has long abandoned external networking devices such as phones and computers. Any human citizen can connect to the ubiquitous network through specific conscious fluctuations at any time. Open the mailbox. Lin Yuan browses through the first email he receives. The sender is the human civilization in the universe. The email congratulates Lin Yuan on becoming a second-level citizen and expresses hope for future cooperation with the human civilization, etc. At the end of the email is a transfer of 5 million civilization, etc. At the end of the email is a transfer of 5 million. Quite generous, Lin Yuan remarks. He then checked his bank account. Sure enough, 5 million has just been deposited. The currency of the human civilization in the universe is extremely stable. 5 million is enough to cover the living expenses of a normal family of 4 for 200 years. Lin Xiuqing, Lin Yuan's father, worked his whole life and didn't earn 5 million. Even though he is now a second-level citizen, Lin Yuan appreciates the 5 million. After all, who would complain about having too much money? It seems that higher-level citizens are much more popular than same-tier evolved, Lin Yuan thinks to himself. At least he has never heard of any citizen receiving a transfer from the human civilization right after becoming an evolved. In fact, this is reasonable. To become an evolved, one has many ways, such as buying specific resources like gene elixirs or developing the body, which are mostly one's own business and have little to do with the human civilization in the universe. However, to become a second-level citizen, one must contribute to the human civilization and receive merit points from the goddess of wisdom. The human civilization in the universe naturally values higher-level citizens more. Lin Yuan happily looks at his 5 million savings again. With this sum, he can buy various nutritional supplements and recovery items without any restrictions to restore his full strength. Next, Lin Yuan reads through other emails. The general content of these emails mainly explains various privileges. After becoming a second-level citizen, Lin Yuan gains access to many privileges that ordinary citizens cannot touch. There are mainly 5 aspects. 1. Livelihood assurance. A second-level citizen can receive 10,000 civilization coins from the central bank every month, even without doing anything. 2. Exemption privilege. Exemptions from compulsory actions involving conscription, immigration, etc. Unless Lin Yuan voluntarily agrees, he can directly refuse. 3. Virtual World Authority. A second-level citizen has the qualifications to enter the local area network of the virtual world. 4. Life privilege. In the governed regions of the human civilization in the universe, even if a second-level citizen commits a crime, local law enforcement agencies have no right to arrest, let alone kill. 5. Purchase authority. Many of the limited resources in human civilization, even with money, cannot be bought. One must possess the corresponding citizen level. Of course, apart from the aforementioned 5 privileges, second-level citizens have many implicit benefits. For example, according to the regulations of the Cosmic Human Alliance, a large corporate entity must have a certain number of second-level citizens, and so on. No wonder there are so few higher-level citizens, and so on. No wonder there are so few higher-level citizens. Lin Yuan's expression revealed a sense of amazement. Virtual world access. Lin Yuan's gaze fell on the 3rd privilege. Lin Yuan could understand the other privileges of second-level citizens, but this virtual world access. Would you like to enter the virtual world? Just as Lin Yuan was gazing at the virtual world, the solemn voice of the goddess of wisdom sounded in his ears. Enter. Lin Yuan nodded. He was curious about this virtual world, applying to connect to the virtual world. As the applicant is connecting to the virtual world for the first time, identity verification is required. Iris verification passed. Blood verification passed. Checking clone characteristics. Verification result. Non-clone. DNA verification passed. Life-specific fluctuation in accordance with records. Wife-specific fluctuation in accordance with records. Verification passed. Citizen Lin Yuan, during your entry into the virtual world, do not harbor any rebellious thoughts. Just as the voice of the goddess of wisdom reached him, Lin Yuan felt his surroundings go dark, and his consciousness quickly sank. With Lin Yuan's strength, he could easily break free from this sinking feeling, but doing so might prevent him from entering the so-called virtual world, so he allowed his consciousness to continue sinking. Where is this? When Lin Yuan opened his eyes again, he found himself in the midst of a starry sky. Beneath his feet, a pale blue planet was slowly rotating. Is this Changlan star? Lin Yuan's pupils contracted slightly. He immediately recognized that the planet beneath his feet was an exact replica of the real Changlan star. Whether it was the number of continents or the percentage of ocean area, it was identical to the real Changlan star. Respected citizen Lin Yuan. At this moment, a solemn voice came. Lin Yuan looked up and saw a beautiful woman in a white dress, quietly looking at him. I am the goddess of wisdom. I will now introduce the functions of the virtual world to you. The goddess of wisdom paused for a moment and continued. The virtual world that citizen Lin Yuan is currently connected to is, to be precise, the Changlan Star Local Area Network. It is divided into 7 regions, namely the living area, trading area, arena area, and central plaza area. As the goddess of wisdom described each area, arena area, and central plaza area. As the goddess of wisdom described each area, the corresponding part of the Changlan star below enlarged in an instant. That is, Lin Yuan looked towards the central plaza area, introduced by the goddess of wisdom. In this area, a large number of figures gathered, and in the center, there stood a massive, towering monument. That is the Changlan Evolution Ranking. It records the top 100 evolutionary paths in the history of Changlan Star. The goddess of wisdom explained in a soft voice. I see. Lin Yuan nodded slightly, suddenly curious, and asked, I wonder where my martial path ranks among the evolutionary paths. Citizen Lin Yuan's developed martial path after the highest intellect's calculation is ranked 93rd. The goddess of wisdom replied. 93rd? Lin Yuan showed no particular emotion. The martial path he developed now had taken him 20 years in the world of martial arts. Even with his extraordinary comprehension, it wasn't surprising to be ranked 93rd in a history spanning nearly 1,000,000 years on Changlan Star. In terms of comprehension, over 1,000,000 years of history on Changlan Star, no one compared to Lin Yuan. But time and a large population did play a role. The Changlan Evolution Ranking will be updated tomorrow, and at that time, citizen Lin Yuan's martial path will be displayed for the first time. Would citizen Lin Yuan like to hide his citizen number? The goddess of wisdom inquired. In the Cosmic Human Alliance, determining a citizen's identity was not based on their name but on their citizen number. Given the commonality of names, the citizen number was unique. Hide it. Lin Yuan pondered for a moment and nodded. The Changlan Evolution Ranking only selected the top 100 evolutionary paths, so it was undoubtedly prestigious. Lin Yuan, with his current strength and lack of background, decided it was best not to draw too much attention. After understanding the functions of the virtual world, Lin Yuan exited. Is it getting light? Lin Yuan checked the sky. Little Yuan, can I come in? At this moment, Lin Xiong's voice came from outside the door. Due to concerns about Lin Yuan's ability to withstand the impact of forced conscription, his parents refrained from actively seeking him out all night. Now, with the dawn approaching, Lin Xiong, his mother, decided to come and check on Lin Yuan. Come in. The door isn't locked. Lin Yuan sat up from the bed. You woke up so early. You probably didn't sleep well last night, right? Lin Xiong's voice was gentle, and although her appearance was somewhat ordinary, she gave off a feeling of approachability. Little Yuan, actually we knew about the conscription yesterday. The district head called Ah Cheng, Mick's father at the time, and Ah Cheng refused. You know your dad, he can't trade freedom for a future. I don't want it either. Our family of 4 is fine. Why should we be separated? Lin Qiang's eyes turned red. Mom, don't be too sentimental. I understand, I really do. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Indeed, the matter of forced conscription was purely due to Lin Yuan's bad luck, unrelated to others. There's no need for you to worry about it. You're my son whom I've raised for so many years. If you, who were born from my own flesh, are conscripted, what will I do in the future? Although methods such as external gestation had long been achieved with the current technology of cosmic human civilization, nearly half of the couples still preferred the laborious method of conceiving through 10 months of pregnancy. Lin Qian was one of them. Little Yuan, in this card, I've saved up money over the years. Asheng doesn't know about it. You take it first. The password is your birthday. It will definitely come in handy in the future. Lin Qiong took out a bank card, handed it to Lin Yuan, and said with a slightly choked voice, "This." Lin Yuan hesitated slightly. Naturally, he could see that the money in this card was the result of his mother Lin Qiong's frugal habits over the years. Now, giving it all to him at once. In fact, I don't need all this. After hesitating for a while, Lin Yuan spoke. "I don't need to go for conscription anymore. I know, little Yuan, you're sensible." Lin Xiong was about to speak when she suddenly realized something. "What did you say?" "I don't need to go for conscription," Lin Yuan repeated. Lin Yuan's original plan was to visit the Evolver Association, register, and then, as an Evolver, reject conscription. However, everything became simpler after he was promoted to a second-level citizen. Among the three methods the Goddess of Wisdom provided to exempt from conscription, both Evolvers and second-level citizens had the privilege to refuse conscription. "Little Yuan, are you okay? Do you need to go to the hospital?" Mother Lin Qiang didn't show any joy on her face but expressed worry. Forced conscription was no trivial matter. It wasn't something one could refuse just by wanting to. In Lin Qiang's eyes, Lin Yuan might have experienced some kind of shock, leading to a mental disorder, causing him to speak incoherently. "I'm fine." Lin Yuan shook his head slightly, pondered for a moment, and said, "I should be an Evolver now. Don't believe me? Watch." Lin Yuan raised his right hand and pushed it towards the living room. Several meters away, the ceramic bowl placed on the dining table turned into pieces. "Ah!" Seeing this unexpected scene, Lin Shuang widened her eyes. Faced with such a fantastical sight, Lin Shuang's heart suddenly started to race. Really an Evolver? Lin Shuang muttered to herself, ordinary people couldn't do such things unless they were those mythical Evolvers. Old Lin, wake up quickly." Thinking of this, Lin Qiang hurriedly ran out to report the good news to her husband, Lin Shoucheng. A moment later, Lin Yuan sat at the dining table. Father Lin Shoucheng and Mother Lin Qiang sat upright, examining Lin Yuan from top to bottom. It seemed like the first time they truly recognized their own son, especially Lin Shoucheng, who was racking his brain over the conscription issue. Even though the hope wasn't high, watching his son being sent to fight against other races was something he couldn't accept, no matter what. But Lin Shoucheng could never have dreamed that the matter would be resolved in another way. Lin Yuan had become an Evolver. According to the regulations of human civilization, even an unranked Evolver had the right to refuse conscription. "How did you become an Evolver?" Father Lin Shoucheng couldn't help asking. There were many ways to become an Evolver, but most required a substantial cost, either in terms of money or other aspects. Lin Yuan was just an ordinary student. Where could he find the resources? "I woke up this morning and found that I had become one." Lin Yuan pondered for a moment and casually gave an explanation. He certainly couldn't reveal the gateway of Myriad Realms. It was his biggest secret, something he couldn't share with anyone, not even his closest family. "It can't be an awakening type Evolver, can it?" Father Lin Shoucheng enthusiastically speculated. Evolvers were divided into two types, unique and general. Among them, the unique category had many subtypes, and awakening type Evolvers were one of them. Awakening type Evolvers had evolution factors in their bloodline, which might not manifest for their entire lives, or could suddenly appear one day. According to Lin Yuan's description, his son seemed to resemble an awakening type Evolver. "My old Lin family must have had a powerful Evolver ancestor. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible for evolution factors to be passed down." Father Lin Shoucheng was quite pleased. Mother Lin Shoucheng immediately became unhappy. Pushing Lin Shoucheng, "Why can't it be the evolution factors from my side?" The tone of their conversation became noticeably more relaxed. Regardless of whether it was from one side or the other, the evolution factors in Lin Yuan meant that he had become an Evolver, and the upcoming forced conscription had nothing to do with him. Of course, after being exempted from forced conscription, the conditions set by the government earlier were naturally cancelled. However, compared to his son becoming an Evolver, these conditions were insignificant. Lin Yuan, once exposed to the circle of Evolvers, could at least soar through the ranks effortlessly, benefiting not only himself but also those around him. Changlan Star's virtual world. Central Square area. Everyone appearing here was without exception second-level citizens or Evolvers. ordinary citizens didn't even have access to the virtual world, let alone entering this area. Among the 7 regions of the virtual world, the central square area was the liveliest, dominated by the monumental Kanglin evolutionary ranking. Countless evolvers and higher-level citizens looked up to it. You just become evolvers and enter this virtual world. First, you need to understand the significance of the Kanglin evolutionary ranking. In a corner of the central square area, a middle-aged woman with black-framed glasses was spreading knowledge to several young men and women. The Kanglin evolutionary ranking contains the 100 most powerful evolutionary paths in the history of Changlin star, some of which have even shone brightly in other star domains. You must remember that these 100 evolutionary paths have undergone the test of the ages and are a monument to us evolvers, unchangeable. The middle-aged woman with black-framed glasses quickly spoke. The young men and women nearby nodded repeatedly. They weren't foolish. They naturally understood the value of the Changlin evolutionary ranking. Alright, the middle-aged woman with black-framed glasses nodded slightly. This time, no one stood up to refute her words arrogantly. Next, the middle-aged woman with black-framed glasses was about to continue speaking when a young woman below suddenly opened her mouth. Sister Ruin, it changed. The young woman with a baby face stuttered. Are your eyes playing tricks on you? How could the Changlin evolutionary ranking change? The woman with black-framed glasses frowned slightly. The Changlin evolutionary ranking contained the 100 most powerful evolutionary paths in the history of Changlin star over nearly 1,000,000 years. It was inconceivable for it to change. The woman with black-framed glasses squinted. The young woman had mentioned that the ranking had changed. Blood evolutionary path. The woman with black-framed glasses first looked at the blood evolutionary path, which was ranked 100. Is it really gone? Is it really gone? The woman with black-framed glasses felt a bit uneasy. The blood evolutionary path, originally ranked 100, had disappeared, replaced by the evolutionary path that was previously ranked 99. Path of martial arts evolution. The woman with black-framed glasses quickly looked upward, realizing that the newcomer was ranked 93. So, this evolutionary path made its way onto the Changlin evolutionary ranking. The woman with black-framed glasses took a deep breath, waves of turmoil surging within her. The fact that the martial arts evolutionary path had made its way onto the ranking proved the potential of this evolutionary path What shocked the woman was the question of which influential figure had developed this particular path. Something big is about to happen, she thought to herself. Changes in the Changlin evolutionary ranking were inevitably going to attract the attention of various forces on Changlin star. For instance, the evolvers who practiced the now-removed blood evolutionary path were probably going crazy. The change in the Changlin evolutionary ranking quickly caught the attention of others in the square. It's amazing. I remember the last change in the ranking quickly caught the attention of others in the square. It's amazing. I remember the last change in the ranking was around 560 years ago. Who could have developed the martial arts evolutionary path? Dr. Chen or Director Shi? I'm not sure. Dr. Chen is my relative, and I haven't heard that he's been researching new evolutionary paths recently. Has anyone tried the martial arts evolutionary path? Numerous evolvers, as well as second-level and higher citizens, engaged in lively discussions. They wanted to know who had developed the martial arts evolutionary path, but unfortunately, the citizen number was hidden, and no one knew. Lin Yuan was unaware of this because he had uploaded the martial arts evolutionary path, causing a hurricane-like disturbance in the virtual world. At the moment, he was browsing the marketplace, intending to purchase some nutritional fluids to quickly recover his strength. The so-called marketplace was an official shopping platform established by human civilization. The variety of goods available was extensive, and the prices were fair, given the official endorsement. As a second-level citizen, Lin Yuan's access to the marketplace featured mostly restricted items. Genetic elixirs, which ordinary citizens could never access, were also available, and they were priced at 1,000,000 credits per bottle. Advanced nutrient fluid. Lin Yuan quickly searched and focused on the advanced nutrient fluid. Nutrient fluid was one of the essential supplies for space explorers, significantly replenishing their energy expenditure. Nutrient fluids were categorized as low-level, mid-level, and high-level. A low-level nutrient fluid contained enough energy to sustain an ordinary person's consumption for a month. This meant that by consuming a low-level nutrient fluid, a normal person could survive for a month without eating or drinking. mid-level, and high-level nutrient fluids were mainly used for certain giant or alien creatures, as their energy content was too overwhelming for ordinary humans to endure. Let's buy a bottle and see its effects first. Lin Yuan selected the quantity of the advanced nutrient fluid as 1 and clicked on purchase. The price for a bottle of advanced nutrient fluid was 200,000, equivalent to 10 years' income for an ordinary citizen who neither eats nor drinks. Moreover, high-quality nutrient fluids had already become restricted resources. If Lin Yuan hadn't upgraded to a second-level citizen, he wouldn't even have seen this option, let alone purchase it. I guess my current strength level is probably close to an unranked evolutionist. After buying the advanced nutrient fluid, Lin Yuan began to evaluate his own condition. According to the Cosmic Human Alliance's standards for different evolutionist ranks, his martial Dao innate realm had barely reached the threshold of becoming an evolutionist, meaning he was at an unranked level. However, he understood that the realm and combat power were different things. With his control over the unrestrained realm, free and unrestrained realm, he could achieve extraordinary effects even at an unranked level. He could easily crush ordinary ranked evolutionists. Among ranked evolutionists, the first rank is divided into 12 stages. If I could recover to full strength, I'd probably be between stages 10 and 12, Lin Yuan speculated in his mind. Purely in terms of destructive power, the unrestrained realm was likely approaching the limit of the first rank and was close to the second rank. A true second-rank evolutionist might not reach the city annihilation level, but as long as there are no evolvers of the same level or technological weapons to block it, destroying a city will not take long. A casual blow can easily destroy tall buildings hundreds of meters high. Since the high-grade evolutionary fluid was a restricted resource, it would probably take half a day to a day for it to be delivered to Lin Yuan. During this time, he decided to buy a house. More precisely, he intended to purchase a training space. His current residence was too small and fragile. Lin Yuan sometimes worried that even stretching would cause it to collapse. Moreover, he occasionally needed a larger space to verify his martial Dao. As an evolutionist, he also needed an independent space, which his current residence didn't meet. Shuyue District. Lin Yuan browsed the internet for a while and selected this district. Shuyue District belonged to the high-end real estate area of Dongying City, recently opened for sale in the suburbs. In the cosmic era, true upper-class elites preferred not to live in the city center. Thus, high-end communities like Shuyue District, located in the suburbs, close to nature, and emphasizing the environment, always remained popular. Lin Yuan looked at the housing prices in Shuyue District, ranging from 10 million to 15 million. In addition, second-level citizens could enjoy a 50% discount. Lin Yuan wasn't surprised by this. In the cosmic human civilization, higher-level citizens naturally enjoyed many benefits and privileges. After all, the citizen level couldn't be inherited, and the current higher-level citizens were individuals who had made significant contributions to human civilization. This district will do. Lin Yuan went out and headed to the suburbs. The 5 to 7.5 million credits exceeded his current deposit limit. However, after upgrading to a second-level citizen, Lin Yuan received a credit card from the central bank. He could borrow up to 20 million credits at no interest. This 2 million credits only needed to be repaid within 50 years. It was one of the hidden benefits of being a second-level citizen. With the income of a second-level citizen, earning a few million in a year would easily repay the loan within 7 or 8 years. It wasn't a high-risk loan. Soon, Lin Yuan arrived at the sales office of Shui District. There weren't many citizens here, but without exception, they all exuded extraordinary charm, belonging to true elite individuals. After all, ordinary citizens rarely strolled around high-end properties worth 1 or 2 million. Even though Lin Yuan was dressed casually, he didn't go unnoticed. Immediately, a staff member approached him. "Hello, sir. What type of house are you looking for?" The staff member, a girl with red lips, white teeth, large eyes, and a tall figure, wearing a slightly tight uniform that subtly outlined her curves, greeted Lin Yuan. A larger one, quieter. Lin Yuan stated his requirements. Sure. As the conversation continued, Anna's mood gradually became serious. She glanced at the young man in front of her, wondering if he was really here to buy a house. It wasn't that Anna looked down on Lin Yuan, but out of 10 people who came to inquire, 9 only came to ask, and only 1 might have a slight intention to buy. This was normal, since dealing with matters involving 1 or 2 million required careful consideration. However, judging by Lin Yuan's tone, it didn't sound like a mere inquiry. Thinking about this, Anna immediately became excited, closing the distance between them. She almost leaned into Lin Yuan. "I'll take this one." After looking for a while, Lin Yuan finally made a decision. This property had 3 floors and could be considered more of an estate than a house, complete with a dedicated courtyard and even an underground training ground. Really buying. Anna felt delighted. "Would you like to apply for a loan, sir?" Anna asked cautiously. "No need." Lin Yuan shook his head. Processing a loan would involve interest, and he had an interest-free loan with the credit card from the central bank. "Do you offer a 50% discount for second-level citizens on housing purchases here?" Lin Yuan inquired. "Yes, indeed. For higher-level citizens we at Shui District." Anna started her usual response. However, halfway through her answer, she froze. "Sir, are you a second-level citizen?" Anna's voice trembled. Among the people who came here to inquire, Anna had encountered many wealthy individuals. However, second-level citizens and above were extremely rare. The entire Dongying city had only a handful of second-level citizens, making their number quite scarce. "Sir, please wait. Let me get our manager." Anna apologized a few times and led Lin Yuan into the VIP room. In the lounge of the sales office, Zhao Qian took a sip of water and immediately walked out. She had earned the opportunity to work part-time here, but it came at a great cost. Saleswomen for high-end properties like Shuya District needed to meet basic requirements such as appearance and figure. Interpersonal skills and hospitality were also crucial. They had to make clients feel no displeasure and willingly part with their money. "I wonder when I'll sell a unit." Zhao Qian sighed. Glancing upwards, she noticed Lin Yuan talking to Anna. "He's Lin Yuan, isn't he?" Zhao Yuan immediately recognized Lin Yuan, who was conversing with Anna. Why would he come here? Zhao Yuan was puzzled. She and Lin Yuan were classmates, although they didn't interact much. They were aware of each other's family backgrounds. According to common sense, with Lin Yuan's family situation, he definitely couldn't afford a house in Shui District. Could he be here just for a visit? Zhao Qiwen speculated in her mind. She had no intention of approaching him. Firstly, they were classmates, and meeting in such a situation would be somewhat awkward. Secondly, Anna had already taken charge, and Zhao Qiwen approaching might be seen as trying to steal a customer. Even though Zhao Qiwen thought Lin Yuan didn't have the financial capability to purchase a house, she chose not to intervene. However, what happened next left Zhao Qiwen wide-eyed. Didn't have the financial capability to purchase a house, she chose not to intervene. First, Lin Yuan said something to Anna, and then he was respectfully led into the VIP room by her. Heavens, that was the VIP room. Normally, clients would only be invited into the VIP room after their financial credentials were verified and their deposits exceeded 2 million, demonstrating the ability to make a purchase. Zhao Qiwan couldn't fathom why Lin Yuan was being ushered into the VIP room. If Anna hadn't been a seasoned employee here, making such a common-sense mistake, Zhao Qiwen would have intervened. But before Zhao Qiwen could fully process this, a dignified middle-aged man hurriedly approached and entered the VIP room. Before entering, he even took a moment to patiently knock on the door. Manager Wang. Seeing this, Zhao Qiwen felt her throat dry up. Manager Wang was the manager of the sales office, rumored to have connections with some high-ranking leaders in Dongning City. With Manager Wang's status, he seldom attended to clients directly. Even if they had the financial capability, it was challenging to meet him. Moreover, Manager Wang barely lowered himself to such levels. Did I see it wrong? At this moment, Zhao Qianwen began doubting her eyesight. Maybe that person just now wasn't Lin Yuan at all, but someone who resembled him. But would such a distinguished person wear such plain clothes? She remembered Lin Yuan wearing a similar outfit at school. Was it just a coincidence? Lost in her thoughts, Zhao Qiwen waited outside. After a while, Zhao Qiwen saw Lin Yuan being respectfully escorted out by Manager Wang. Then, under Manager Wang's personal guidance, they went to inspect the houses in the rear of the complex. It really is Lin Yuan. This time, Zhao Qiwen observed carefully. It really is Lin Yuan. This time, Zhao Qiwen observed carefully. She was sure the young man walking out of Manager Wang was her classmate. What are you looking at? Why are you staring at the client like that? Is this how you usually behave? At this moment, Anna walked over, frowning at Zhao Qiwen. Anna, I'm just curious about that person's identity. Even Manager Wang is following him like. Zhao Qiwen didn't say the words like a grandson out loud, but the meaning was clear. Mr. Lin is a distinguished guest of our Shui Yue group. Don't refer to him as that person. If manager finds out, you won't be spared. Mr. Lin is a distinguished guest of our Shui Yue group. Don't refer to him as that person. If manager finds out, you won't be spared. Anna glared at Zhao Qian and continued, "And don't inquire about the guest's information. It's a rule of the group, understand?" "Yes, yes, I understand." Upon hearing this, Zhao Qian's face turned slightly pale. Anna had cited the group's regulations, indicating that Lin Yuan's true identity was far beyond her reach. The environment is quite good. In Shuyo District, No. 32, Lin Yuan sat in the underground training room, his expression showing satisfaction. You get what you pay for, and this place indeed met Lin Yuan's standards. Oh right, I need to change my address. Thinking of something, Lin Yuan opened the shopping app and updated the address of the purchased advanced nutrient solution to his current location. A stranger arrived at Shuiyue District half a day later, stopping in front of Lin Yuan's residence. "Hello, Mr. Lin Yuan. This is the item you purchased. You can open it with your fingerprint." Lin Yuan took the sealed alloy box handed over by the man and his finger swiped across the top. Drip, drip, fingerprint verification successful. An electronic synthesized voice sounded and the alloy box opened, revealing a 10-centimeter test tube. Inside the test tube was a sky blue liquid, worth every bit of the 200,000. Lin Yuan smiled as he examined the durian solution. Gulp. Lin Yuan opened the advanced nutrient solution. Gulp blip. Lin Yuan opened the advanced nutrient solution and took a sip. Instantly, a scorching breath began to spread throughout his limbs and hundreds of bones. The terrifying force almost burst out of his body, exploding in all directions. Refine. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. Suddenly, the terrifying heat rapidly merged into his body, continuously being refined. An hour later, Lin Yuan silently opened his eyes. Advanced to the Grandmaster realm, Lin Yuan's eyes gleamed as he felt a substantial increase in his blood and internal energy. Maybe another 20 bottles, and I'll be able to fully restore my strength. Confirming the effectiveness of the advanced nutrient solution, Lin Yuan didn't hesitate to purchase 20 bottles. 2 days later, after absorbing all 20 bottles of advanced nutrient solution, Lin Yuan's strength fully recovered. Water Moon Residential Area, House Number 32, Underground Training Room. Now, there's no sense of oppression. Lin Yuan sits cross-legged, his eyes deep, silently thinking. In the martial world, after stepping into the unrestrained realm, he felt the oppressive force from the depths, as if a stranded whale, uncomfortable all over. But now, there is no such feeling. Is it because of the different world limits? Lin Yuan speculates in his mind. The upper limit of the martial world is obviously much lower than the main world. This can be seen from the huge difference in the flow of time. Lin Yuan is in an unprecedented, unrestrained realm, perhaps approaching the true limit in the martial world. He may be suppressed and rejected by the world, but in the main world, even if it's not a starting point, there is still a distance from the true world limit. At least as far as Lin Yuan knows, those truly powerful evolvers in the Cosmic Human Alliance can easily cross the starry sky with their bodies, destroying stars with a snap of their fingers. In the history of the Star Sea for over 2 million years, human civilization has emerged from the mother star, sweeping across alien races, occupying vast star domains. Apart from the 3 ultimate intelligent goddesses who unified the command, extremely powerful individual evolvers also made indelible contributions. Having fully restored his strength, Lin Yuan gradually adapted and realized that he could connect to the virtual world. These days, while refining advanced nutrient solution, Lin Yuan would occasionally explore the virtual world. Residential area. Lin Yuan's figure appears on a street. People pass by from time to time. In the corners, a few figures occasionally gather to chat. At a glance, there are dozens of figures on this residential street. Lin Yuan is no longer surprised by this. Although ordinary people don't have the privilege to connect to the virtual world, Kanglan Star has a population of 5 billion. Even if there is one second-level citizen among 50,000 citizens, the total number of second-level citizens on Kanglan Star exceeds 100,000. In fact, in a population of 200 to 300,000, one second-level citizen can emerge, and the actual number of second-level citizens on Kanglan Star is close to 300,000. This is just second-level citizens. Evolvers also have the privilege to connect to the virtual world, and the number of evolvers is much larger than the number of second-level citizens. After all, there are various ways to become an evolver, normal, mutation, and so on. Of course, the number of evolvers is relative to second-level citizens. Compared to ordinary citizens, evolvers are still extremely rare, with 1 in thousands on average. Lin Yuan casually enters a bar in a residential area, sits in a corner and orders a mixed drink. This texture. Lin Yuan takes a sip, slightly amazed. If he didn't perceive the outside world's body very clearly, Lin Yuan almost thought he had come to the real world. No wonder the goddess of wisdom restricts access to the virtual world. With such clear sensory simulation, it must be built on a giant server. If everyone can connect, the cost would be terrifying. Lin Yuan sat in the bar for a while and then exited the virtual world. Now that my strength is restored, I should go to the Evolver Association as soon as possible, register, and get the Evolver certificate. The Cosmic Human Alliance tightly controls evolvers. Even those who haven't advanced must register as soon as possible. Thinking of this, Lin Yuan immediately contacted the local Evolver Association and made an appointment for registration the next day. Like organizations such as the Evolver Association, it's better to make an appointment in advance. The next day, Lin Yuan went back home. These days, he stayed away from home under the pretext of needing to undergo training as an evolver. At the dinner table, Lin Yuan's mother, Lu Qiang, seemed to remember something and said, "Little Yuan, you've become an evolver, haven't you?" Old Lin loves to show off, and he mentioned it in the relatives group. A few relatives heard about it and want to hold a family banquet. Everyone wants to get together, celebrate, and take a look at you. That relatives group. Lin Yuan glanced at his father, Lin Shoucheng. In the interstellar era, the concept of clans had long faded, but social connections still existed. Lin Yuan becoming an evolver was a significant event that transcended social classes, much more reliable than entering some higher education institution. Entering a higher education institution does not guarantee that you will stand out. There are millions of students graduating from higher education institutions every year, but only evolver is different. Even if you are just an unadvanced evolver, many companies and corporations are willing to hire you at a high salary. In case, in the future, you are fortunate enough to become an advanced evolver, that's like a carp leaping through the Dragon Gate. Originally, Lin Yuan's family was just an ordinary one, occupying a dispensable position among relatives. But now, everything had changed since Lin Yuan became an evolver. No one could guarantee that in the future, they wouldn't need the help of Lin Yuan, the evolver. Sometimes, asking for help is not embarrassing. What's embarrassing is not being able to find the person to ask for help. Uncle Neon helped me before, and he wants everyone to get together. I can't refuse. Father Lin Shoucheng smiled bitterly. He just boasted a bit in the group. He didn't expect someone to actually step forward. It's okay, I'll be there during the family banquet. Lin Yuan knew what his parents meant. They were worried that he might have other commitments and wouldn't be able to attend. If even the protagonist, Lin Yuan, didn't show up, what would be the point of holding a family banquet? Family banquet. What family banquet? Is there delicious food? Lin Yuan's sister, Lin Yi, immediately became excited, blinking her big eyes and asking. After finishing the meal and leaving home, Lin Yuan planned to go to the Evolver Association to get his certificate. Not long after he started walking, Lin Yuan received a phone call. "Is this Mr. Lin Yuan?" The voice on the other end of the phone was a cautious female voice. "I am." Lin Yuan nodded. "I'm from the Evolver Association. Mr. Lin Yuan applied to register today." At that time, it wasn't clear that Mr. Lin Yuan is a second-level citizen, so it wasn't explained properly. According to the association's rules, any second-level citizen who comes for business needs to be escorted by a dedicated person. The woman on the phone was almost on the verge of tears. There were only a few second-level citizens in Dong City, and they all knew the president of the Evolver Association. When they came for business, they usually went directly through the president. As a small employee, she had never had contact with any second-level citizen. Yesterday, when she received Lin Yuan's application, she was busy with other things and didn't pay much attention. It wasn't until this morning, when entering Lin Yuan's citizen number, that she discovered he was a second-level citizen. Because of this incident, it drew the attention of her superiors, who asked what the second-level citizen needed and insisted on meeting his needs as much as possible. "It's okay." Lin Yuan shook his head. He hadn't lost anything. "So where is Mr. Lin now?" "I'll arrange for someone to pick you up right away." The woman on the phone finally breathed a sigh of relief. If Lin Yuan held her accountable for her service attitude, undoubtedly, she would be dismissed the next day and the reason would be written into her file. At that time, no enterprise or group would be willing to hire her because, regardless of the circumstances, disregarding higher-level citizens is crossing a bottom line. "I'm here right now." Lin Yuan hesitated for a moment but decided to disclose his current location. Having someone pick him up would be convenient, and he could also save some taxi money. After hanging up the phone, Lin Yuan casually found a coffee shop on the roadside and waited. However, not long after, a voice suddenly came from nearby. "Lin Yuan, why are you here?"